Good evening and welcome to Letters from the Light Side, my weekly broadcast with channeled information from the guides and inspirers who are working with us at this time. And I'm delighted once again to be able to say that I'm live streaming here on Facebook and YouTube. So really exciting that I'm managing to do the challenge I set to myself a little while ago at the beginning of February. So really exciting to be with you this evening. Sorry, I'm laughing already. Rafe never wants to keep it serious. He always likes a bit of light and a bit of laughter when we start off. So he's playing little bits of games with me. Anyway, as well as Rafe, this evening I want to channel through a message from Archangel Archeliel, who's in the room with me. A lovely archangel, one of the Earth's archangels. They're here as our Earth's guardian angels, and they take care of all of the energy flows that are around us and about us, and they take care of trying to encourage us forward. That's the key thing for the Earth's guardian angels. We're on an ascension path. They want us so much to achieve all that we have been put here for, the missions that we came in to fulfill. And I'm laughing because Shelley's blowing on my neck. I don't know about where you live, but we've had 2 nights, and looks like going to be a 3rd night of extreme of high winds. So lots of turbulent energy and lots of things being shaken up. And you might have found this week that you've been in a whirlwind. I'm sitting. Why I'm laughing? I'm sitting in what was a fairly organised office studio, and this Monday I started to pull it apart, busy throwing things away, getting rid of paper, tons of paper, reorganising my files, putting everything in a place where I can find it. And I'm laughing with it at the thought of it, because it was Archeliel's energy. He's the archangel who brings us that oomph, that get started, that get going kind of energy. And certainly it hit me this week with a vengeance. So you might have found yourself going, why am I keeping this? And oh, there's a pile of old paperwork there. I think I'll just go through it. You might find that you've turned your house upside down because you decided you don't really like where everything's positioned right now. And this is our getting organised energy. Lovely Saturn influence as well, because it's always a little bit of a discipline to get things in order, to make sure we know where everything is when we want it. And we're certainly putting into our physical world what's going on inside in our own energy. We're having a sort out. It's definitely a spring clean. And you might have found that this whirlwind was also an emotional whirlwind. I don't know about anybody else, but certainly the guides came in today and said, just have a day off. You've emotionally cleared. When you've been clearing this stuff in your room, you've been emotionally clearing. So my get up and go kind of got up and went this morning. They said to me it'll be mid-afternoon before it comes back, before you're feeling in the right flow. And of course, they were always right. They're right. They always are. So this week it's clearing, it's springtime, it's getting organised, it's turning your physical world to fit with that new sense of inner purpose. And it might only be a little bud of inner purpose. There might not quite be a total understanding of where it's going and what's going on. Why am I going forward in this direction? but it is there. It's that's sap rising. Thank you, Rafe. That's going to get us moving forward in this year of great change. We have to sort our inside out before we can manifest it in the outer world, and that's happening. So you might have felt a little bit of your chin dropping, you might have felt a bit lacking in confidence, but so what? It's kind of that moment, that so what moment. Life is opening up again. And I don't just mean with the COVID situation. We've been ploughing through a huge cloud of fear for the past 2 years. It's been gradually coming up to the surface. Now, we're finally getting to the heart of the matter. We're finally recognising what people feel and think on the inside. That's what all this stuff is that's being chucked out. All these kind of very polar opposite views with no sense of this middle ground, or this consensus in the middle. We're more interested in kind of these opposites, taking up these opposite positions, rather than looking at, wait a minute, maybe we agree on parts of the same things, even if we can't agree on it all. And that process of getting into what it is we really think and feel inside means that our outer world has responded. So we've had all of this fear energy. We've had all of this aggressive, hate-filled energy, and we need to know it's there, because if you don't know it's there, you can't do anything about it. And so our Shelley is wanting you to see this as a big step forward, that we've kind of turned a corner, because now we can start to tackle stuff. When we know that it's there, we can deal with it. When we understand what we're feeling and we're able to give voice to that feeling, when we can look at things and recognise that they are opposites, and we need to have a discussion to get into some shared understanding, that's when it's going to happen. Not when we're shrouded in the fear and the division and the them and usness, playing a one-up game, playing to win only for me and not for anybody else. So our Shelley really wants you to appreciate this week and that spring of extra energy, which is all about, right, now I need to sort it all out in my external world. That does mean letting go. I'm laughing because I am challenged, shall we say, to let go. I can be quite a hoarder, especially if it's books. But we are being challenged to lighten our material world, to be ready to flow and be able to be more minimalist about it. Now, that fills me with dread. I like to have my pictures from, hundreds of years ago. Pictures of me when I was in a different life than the life I lead now. I like things that are memories. But at the end of the day, if they are cluttering me, if they are holding me to be a me I'm not any longer, then yeah, I do agree, I have to let them go. This is the way our Shelley brings it. He gently tugs things away and sort of says, you don't really need this, do you? You've had this comfort blanket for quite a while. Shall we just move it on? And yeah, if you want another one, go to the shop and get another comfort blanket. But let's just move this old stale one out. So, do it with as light a heart as you can. Remember, we are in this process of change, and it's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel uncertain and restless, and I want it and then I don't want it, and I want it and then I don't want it. It's okay, because this period of change is all about that. These whirlwinds that are blowing through our lives on all levels are bringing this energy of change, and we haven't finished storming yet. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because Rave's just repeating a little thing to me. It's a thing I learned about teams. The team forms, then it norms, then it storms, then it performs. If you think about team humanity, well, we've definitely formed, we're all here. If you think about we've normed, we've sort of decided whose group we belong to and what we believe in, and what we're going to be interested in and doing. Now we're storming, because as a team, and that's what humanity is as far as our Shelley is concerned, as a team we've got things to do, we've got stuff to sort out, and we can't perform at the level we need to unless we thrash out these disagreements and these differences in perspective in as positive a way as possible. So he's never ever worried about the storming. It creates the energy for change. It brings such a positive flow. You have to look at the world events in that perspective. You have to look back and see the changes that have been achieved from the last lot of storming. We did quite a bit of storming in a way in the 60s. We challenged, we kicked against the standards and morals of the time. We're just riding that wave, that particular hurricane energy. Now we've got a new storm giving us more energy, and okay, we might call it COVID, we might call it the collapse of capitalism, we might call it the rise of authoritarianism, or equal rights for all, or whatever we want to call it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that it's giving it a name just doesn't pigeonhole it. What it does is it creates an energy. We're feeling that energy. So Team Humanity is ready to play a better game of life, ready to make it better, fairer, more equal, ready to acknowledge that lots and lots and lots of us get stuck into situations that we don't really necessarily choose, but we're part of systems that make the choices limited. And the new is about unlimited choice, is about behaving as a team and performing and really grabbing. What's blown my mind this week, I'm a bit science geeky at times, and I've been reading some stuff about the new technology that's been used to create the vaccines for COVID. Not just a single company, a concerted effort by lots and lots of people to find a solution, and it's come through new technology advances, making the technology work to enable us to be able to do this. Phenomenal in such a short space of time, and such a hopeful thing. And what's interesting is now everybody's looking at how can they apply that technology to other other illnesses. It's like, wow, we found something that's a leap forward. That's what humanity is good at. Shelley is always telling me, when we get our act together, we kick a bit of butt. we get on. When we pull together and pool our intelligence and our resources, we make these wonderful strides forward. And that's what this energy is. So honour the whirlwind in your life, even if, like me, you're sitting in the middle of a total mess going, oh, where do I start? just grab the fact that you're looking at everything anew. You're reorganizing and you're rebuilding, and you're deciding what is worth continuing to have in your life. And that's been happening inwardly as well as outwardly for the whole of the human race. We're being asked to decide who we want to be, how we want to be Team Humanity, what's going to be important. And it's so important to do that in a really positive way, and to use this energy, this flow that's currently with us. Archangel says it's going to last the whole of the year. That's why it's an important year for him, because he's going to be very busy pushing you forward, encouraging you forward, bringing the things in that you need to help you to go forward, and to stay focused on that vision of better. You know, if we don't have that vision, we never know how to make it better. We know where we want to go. Now we'll work it out. That's the thing. You know, that's how it always works for humanity. Decide where we want to go, and then we'll work it out. And that's the wonderful thing about having this archangel energy in with us as well. I know they're not the only ones who are helping. I know we've got lots and lots of non-physical beings pouring in all this beautiful, helpful, positive energy. But right now, the archangels, who are our guardian angels, are really encouraging us. You know, keep going, keep doing. You will get there. Just keep aiming for that focus of a better Team Humanity. Better human beings, in the sense of doing away with the things that hurt us and cause us pain, doing away with the systems that reduce us to cogs in the wheel, doing away with the dependence on the wrong things, deciding what the best things are, deciding what the wrong things are. Stop being polar opposites and finding ourselves in that middle ground, agreeing that there are things we can agree on, and that choices can be made on what we agree on rather than what we're divided about. So, a very important year, says Archangel. In the next couple of weeks, this push to organise the chaos, if you like, will continue. Please don't get too dispirited when it seems like nothing visible is happening. You have to do a lot inwardly to manifest the best outwardly. So remember, you are doing work on an inner level. That restlessness you feel, that why isn't it any better than this, that sense of wanting to achieve, it's all for a good purpose. It is going to be a little bit tricky over the weekend because there's a bit more storming to come. Just remember, Archangel says, your emotions are what make you beautiful. Human beings are centered around their emotions. It's the thing we're born with. We're not born with cognitive thinking ability. We're born with emotions ready wired in. And those emotions are the gift that we give to one another. So over the weekend, you might find yourself giving voice to maybe things you haven't ever said before, or things that you're not sure you would have ever said. It's the truth. It's speaking your truth. It's letting your truth out. We'll never get to a consensus if we don't know how we all feel and think. And we'll never understand how similar we are. We focus on difference, but we're so similar to Archangel. He laughs when I talk about, oh, well, they're different because, and he'll say, no, you're so similar. So you might be letting rip a little bit in the whirlwind of the weekend. It's okay. It's good energy. Sometimes we need a huge blowout in order to sort out where we're going and what we want and what we're doing. Come at it with love. Come at it with compassion for yourself and love for yourself, because then you'll have compassion and love for others. And then let the dust settle. Over the next few days, just let it be. It is what it is. You have then an opportunity to go, oh, do I want to keep this or do I want to lose it? Do I want to keep this? Do I want to give it away? Do I want to keep this? Do I want to recycle it? You can do those things. And you can do that inwardly as well as outwardly. Whatever division you feel in your life between you and others, you can look at that and you can decide not to focus on the division, but to focus on where you are the same as someone. My nana had a saying, but for the grace of God, there go I. It's quite a well-known saying, but she always used to mean it. She'd had a lot of hardship, incredibly tough times, and yet she still remembered it could have been tougher, and it was tougher for other people. And that's part of what Archangel wants us to appreciate. Humanity is having it tough at the moment. Everybody is. Every single person's having it tough in one way or another. But sometimes we don't see that. We don't choose to see it because we don't want to see it in ourselves, and we don't want to open up to being vulnerable. And yet when we do, there's so much that can come out of acknowledging we're not having it so good, but neither is anybody else. It's a common shared experience that should help us to decide that we will do things that make it better. Like work all out to find a vaccination that protects everybody. Like work all out to find a solution to how to help people survive when their means of income have been taken away. When we've lost our ability to be social beings in one set of ways, working all out to find ways to help us to be social beings in a different way, online. So much that we haven't recognised is good that's coming out of this extreme challenge. And that's what he wants us to understand the whirlwind energy as. It's a challenge, an extreme challenge for the whole of humanity. But we are going to do better as a result. He often drifts me into reading about the pandemic of 1918, 100 years ago. Here we are with another pandemic. Humanity got through that one and still managed to survive. We didn't quite grasp the nettle that time round about our divisions and the inequality. We didn't quite sort it out because it fell in while we were in the middle of a world war. We had to go and have a second world war as a result of not dealing with the consequences of those issues. He's very keen to remind us that now we are older and wiser as Team Humanity, we know that we can do it a different way. We don't have to go the same way. So in the coming week, try to focus on being part of Team Humanity, recognising that yes, it is tough. It's tough for us all. And maybe there's a way that you can help to change the energy. Maybe there's a way that you can find a solution to something that's been dividing us. Whether it's dividing you inside yourself, whether it's dividing you from your family or your friends or your colleagues. Is there a way to find some consensus? At least a way to talk it out, even if you end up having to agree to disagree. Archangels energy will be with you, as will all the energies of the Archangels, especially the Archangel responsible for healing, that's Parashil. It's time for us to see what needs to be healed and start that work. And as ever, it starts individually and then becomes a collective wave. So it's time to start the next whirlwind. Time to bring about the big changes and the little changes that move us all forward. I hope that you have a good week. I hope that you have interesting times, lots of laughter, that you get ideas sparking that help you to find the breakthrough that's necessary to change your life in positive ways, change it for the better. It's there. We have to be open to it. So be open to life getting better. Keep that hope alive that you've got what you need inside you to make that better life and to make that life a huge plus for Team Humanity. Thank you for listening, everybody. I'm laughing because I'm still sat in my chaos. And I've just been saying to Rafe, well, I hope somebody's going to sort all this out then. I know full well it'll have to be me. But hey-oh, that's what I can spend next week doing. Have a good week, folks. I'll be back at 8:30, fingers crossed, next week, to pass on whatever the guides want to inspire us with. But I quite like the idea of being part of Team Humanity, even if sometimes I feel like I want to go and hide in the wood away from everybody. Especially when the wind of change is blowing. Good night.